everyone, a very good morning. It just past 8 this Tuesday morning and we're back again with all the news on Breakfast News, and over the next 1 hour we'll get you news from across the nation, world, sports and business updates, and our main focus is going to be the sweeping steps and measures being taken by China, India and countries across the world to contain the infection of coronavirus. I'm Nancy Kohli and with me is Anil Thomas. Good morning, Anil.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, India. Well, today is World Cancer Day, and cancer, the problems of cancer which are very much before us, the 20th anniversary of this particular day that's been marked across the world, and the theme this year is I am and I will. So the message is very clear. People need to be ready to face the adversities, and that's not all, be ready to face or take on the menace of cancer. Well, over the next 1 hour, we've got loads and loads of things lined up. But first up this Tuesday morning, let's take a look at the headlines we are tracking.
Headlines is sponsored by Wonder Cement. Ek perfect shuruaat.
Centre monitors coronavirus threat at the highest level. The group of ministers headed by Union Health Minister and the group of officials headed by the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister reviews the situation. Kerala declares state of emergency after 3 tests positive for the infection.
Death toll in China due to coronavirus mounts to 425 as the country battles to contain the spread. China to follow US health experts to visit the affected regions. G7 health ministers hold emergency meeting on the crisis.
Election scene heats up in the national capital, Delhi. At a rally, Prime Minister Modi calls the Shaheen Bagh protest a conspiracy to disturb the communal harmony. The Prime Minister will be addressing another rally today. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi to schedule to address election rallies today.
One civilian killed and several others injured in unprovoked ceasefire violation from Pakistan along LOC in the Tangdhar sector of Kupwara in Jammu and Kashmir. Indian troops give befitting reply.
In international news, the race for the White House begins as caucuses in Iowa vote to pick who they want to be the Democratic candidate for the president. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the favorites in the Midwest state. Donald Trump is all but certain of the Republican nomination.
In cricket, defending champions India to take on arch rivals Pakistan in the semi-final of the Under-19 Cricket World Cup in South Africa. India has remained unbeaten in the tournament so far.
And star batsman Rohit Sharma ruled out for the rest of the New Zealand tour. Mayank Agrawal named as replacement to Rohit for the ODIs, while Shubham Gill will be his replacement in the test matches.
Sponsored by Wonder Cement. Ek perfect shuruaat.
Well, those are the headlines in Breakfast Show. Now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister's Principal Secretary P.K. Mishra reviews the coronavirus preparedness and arrangements. A group of ministers chaired by Health Minister Harshvardhan has been monitoring the situation on a daily basis. The Cabinet Secretariat is coordinating all arrangements. Meanwhile, a third case of coronavirus was reported in Kerala, as over 2,000 people are under watch at houses and hospitals across the state. Kerala has declared the epidemic as a state calamity. Health Minister K.K. Shailaja said that the move was to take all necessary steps to ensure that the outbreak is effectively controlled. This includes the entire state machinery gearing up to face the situation and medical officers on leave ordered to report for duty.
A third confirmed case of the novel coronavirus has been reported from Kerala. All 3 cases are of Indian students who were studying in Wuhan. The third, a medical student, is in an isolation ward at Kananga District Hospital in Kasaragod. The Government of India has been proactive ever since word spread about this new strain of novel coronavirus. The Cabinet Secretary has held 6 review meetings so far on the issue. The Ministry of Health and other government departments are all on alert and contributing to India's preparedness. 647 Indians and 7 Maldivians have been evacuated from Wuhan. All those evacuated are in quarantine in Army and ITBP facilities. E-visas for Chinese travelers and foreigners residing there stand suspended for the time being. Anyone with travel history to China since the 15th of January can be quarantined. 2,815 people are under observation in hospitals and homes. Kerala is on high alert as a large number of students from the state are studying in the University of Wuhan. People have been asked to refrain from traveling to China in view of the coronavirus outbreak. 338 samples have been tested, of which 335 have been found to be negative. Indigo has suspended all 3 flights between India and China. Air India has suspended Delhi-Shanghai flight. Air India has curtailed flight operations on the Delhi-Hong Kong route. Hospitals across the country are gearing up to deal with the possible quarantine cases. Patients will be in isolation for at least 28 days. National Institute of Virology in Pune is geared up to test all suspected cases. 72,353 passengers from 593 flights in total have been screened so far.
एक टास्क फोर्स का गठन किया गया भारत के अंदर जो स्थिति देखते हुए जो क्या प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स लेना चाहिए अभी चाइना से जितने भी चाइना तो वायरस जिस देश में है उस देशों से जो भी पैसेंजर्स आते हैं उसके लिए कैसा प्रिकॉशन लेके उसका चेकिंग करना चाहिए और भारत में ट्रीटमेंट कैसा होना चाहिए.
Dr. P.K. Mishra, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, reviewed the situation on Monday relating to the coronavirus infection in the country and the arrangements for the over 600 evacuees. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, Principal Advisor to the Prime Minister P.K. Sinha, Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat and Secretaries of other relevant ministries were also present. On the directions of the Prime Minister, a high-level group of ministers has been constituted comprising Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Harshvardhan, Minister for Civil Aviation Hardeep S. Puri, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of State for Home Affairs G. Kishan Reddy, Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare Ashwini Kumar Chaubey and Minister of State Shipping Mansukh Lal Mandavia. This group will review, monitor and evaluate the preparedness regarding management of novel coronavirus in the country. The first meeting of the GOM was held at Nirman Bhavan in New Delhi to review the preparedness and steps taken by the Ministries of Health, Shipping, External Affairs, Civil Aviation and Home Affairs. It was chaired by Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Harshvardhan. With inputs from Nitendra Singh, DD India.
Meanwhile, 8 people admitted for suspected coronavirus in Cuttack. The samples of 5 of those have been found to be negative. And let's get more inputs from our correspondent Nitendra Singh, who is joining us on the phone line with more updates on that. Nitendra, so many steps, measures being taken by the government of India. The group of ministers there held its first meeting yesterday. Ministers being apprised of the steps and the measures being taken really by the authorities, including the government revising its travel advisory. So the level of preparedness there, being carefully being taken care of at different levels. There, the GOM holding its first meeting yesterday.
बिल्कुल एक तरह से सरकार की तरफ से काफी सतर्कता बरती जा रही है और इसके लिए कल प्रधानमंत्री के निर्देश पे एक ग्रुप ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स की एक टीम बनाई गई है जो लगातार जो विभिन्न मंत्रालय उनके बीच कोऑर्डिनेशन करेंगे. इसके अलावा जो राज्य है उनसे कोऑर्डिनेशन होगी और क्योंकि हालात इस तरह के हो रहे हैं कि कम से कम 2,500 लोगों को अभी एक तरह से ऑब्जर्वेशन में रखा गया है. उनके ब्लड सैंपल्स को भेजा गया है और 3 भारत में पॉजिटिव मामले आए हैं कोरोना वायरस के, जिसमें तीनों केरल से संबंधित है. तो इस तरह से सरकार पूरी तरीके से अलर्ट है क्योंकि बहुत से लोग चीन में रहते हैं जो भारत आए हैं. इसके अलावा जो तकरीबन 26 कंट्री में कोरोना वायरस के मामले सामने आए हैं तो उनके भी लोगों का जाना होता है भारत के में. तो इस वजह से एयरपोर्ट से लेकर के जो ग्रामीण स्तर पे रूरल एरिया में सब जगह ट्रायल हो रहा है कि किस तरीके से जो लोग गए हैं उन देशों में उनको उनकी पहचान करके उनको एक तरह से सर्विलांस पे रखा जाए. कल प्रधानमंत्री के प्रधान सचिव ने भी एक हाई लेवल मीटिंग बुलाई जिसमें सीडीएस भी मौजूद थे, बिपिन रावत मौजूद थे, राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार थे, कैबिनेट सचिव थे, उसके अलावा कई मंत्रालयों के सचिव थे. और जो अभी भारत में स्थिति है और जो भी तैयारियां की गई है बाकी मंत्रालयों के तरफ से उनके बारे में उनको अवगत कराया गया था और आगे क्या करना है इसको लेकर रणनीति बनाई गई है. तो अभी जो वुहान से 600 से ज्यादा लोग आए हुए हैं जो मानेसर के आर्मी के सेंटर में हैं और आईटीबीपी के सेंटर में हैं, उनके स्वास्थ्य पे भी लगातार निगरानी रखी जा रही है। और इस तरह से भारत पूरी तरीके से कोरोना वायरस को लेकर के सतर्क है और पूरी तैयारी किए हुए है।
Nitendra, is there a fresh travel advisory, or is there any kind of advisory that's been issued for people traveling outside India to China, and also, you know, vis-a-vis people coming from China? Is there a blanket ban that's been announced by the DGCA?
देखिए, कल ही एक एडवाइजरी, फ्रेश एडवाइजरी आई थी जिसमें यह बताया गया था कि जो ई वीजा जारी की गई है, चाहे वो चीन के नागरिक हो या भारत से जो नागरिक जा रहे हैं, उनको लेकर उनको टेम्पररी सस्पेंड कर दिया गया है। और जो भी लोग चीन से आए हैं 15 जनवरी से, उनकी क्वारंटाइन, उनको बोला गया कि वो क्वारंटाइन रहे, अपने घर पे रहें, या फिर वो अपने निकट जो हेल्थ फैसिलिटी है वहां पर जाकर के इसकी सूचना दें। इसके अलावा भारत के नागरिकों से केंद्र सरकार ने अपील की है कि वो अभी चीन का दौरा ना करें, वो जाने से परहेज करें, क्योंकि वायरस जिस तरीके से चीन में फैला हुआ है तो कोई भी व्यक्ति इसके चपेटे में आ सकता है। तो बिल्कुल चीन पे जाने से बिल्कुल एक तरह से मना किया गया है सरकार की तरफ।
Okay. Nitendra, you know, we're also given to understand that as far as the 600 evacuees who were flown in from China by the Air India special charter planes, the 2 special charter planes that were sent by Air India to China, you know, 600 evacuees who came from there, they're currently being housed at the ITBP camp, at the Chavla camp, and the army camp as well, and some of the samples have also been sent to the AIMS for diagnosis. Has any report come as far as that diagnosis is concerned?
देखिए, ये उनको 14 दिन के लिए क्वारंटाइन रखा गया है और उनकी पर डे जांच होती है। तो कुछ लोगों को, 4-5 लोगों को सिम्टम्स आए थे, जैसे उनको फीवर के सिम्टम्स आए थे, और बाकी तो उनके सैंपल को भेजा गया है और एक की कल निगेटिव आई है सैंपल, बाकी 4 का भी वेटिंग हो रहा है। हो सकता है कि आज शाम तक या कल तक उसकी रिपोर्ट आ जाएंगे, लेकिन अभी जो बताया गया है, कोई भी जो चीन से लाए गए हैं किसी में भी कोरोना वायरस के सिम्टम नहीं पाए गए हैं या फिर पॉजिटिव केस नहीं।
Nitendra, looking at this coronavirus, this novel coronavirus, is there a glimmer of hope that we see, you know, considering the death toll keep increasing, but is there also a positive increase in the number of recoveries?
बिल्कुल, रिकवरी हो रही है। रिकवरी चाइना में भी काफी देखी गई है, कई लोग स्वस्थ होकर के घर चले गए क्योंकि सिम्टोमेटिक इसका ट्रीटमेंट है। और भारत में भी जो 3 लोग जिनके मामले पॉजिटिव आए हैं, कल स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय की तरफ से बताया गया था कि उनकी भी स्वास्थ्य में सुधार हो रहा है, वो भी स्टेबल है और धीरे धीरे रिकवर कर रहे हैं। उनकी जो सेकेंड ब्लड के सैंपल है आज या कल में फिर लिया जाएगा और उसके बाद NIV पुणे भेजा जाएगा कि क्या उनके सैंपल निगेटिव है कि नहीं। तो एक अच्छी बात यह है कि मॉर्टिलिटी रेट बहुत कम है, 2% है, ग्लोबल जो WHO के डॉक्टरों ने, एक्सपर्ट ने बताया है। तो घबराने की बहुत जरूरत नहीं है, सिम्टम के आधार पर इसका ट्रीटमेंट होगा। और अगर लोग अपनी इम्यून सिस्टम को स्ट्रांग रखते हैं और साफ सफाई का, हाइजीन, पर्सनल हाइजीन का ध्यान रखते हैं, तो निश्चित तौर पर इसे ठीक होकर के निकलेंगे।
Okay. All right, Nitendra Singh, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those details with us. We'll of course keep a track of all the developments very closely with you. Thanks very much for now. Meanwhile, the number of confirmed deaths from China's coronavirus outbreak has spiked to 425 and one abroad. 3,235 new cases were confirmed as of yesterday, taking the confirmed number of those infected by the epidemic to 20,471 in China, with at least 192 outside the Chinese mainland. Further, 23,214 are cases suspect and 1,71,329 are being monitored. Meanwhile, at a time when the epidemic has spread to over 25 countries, good news in a sense is that 632 people have recovered from the deadly virus. Chinese President Xi Jinping meanwhile warned officials of punishment if they shirk responsibility in tackling the coronavirus outbreak. The warning comes as China opened a 1,000-bed hospital built in record 9 days in Wuhan city and began trials for new drug to contain the virus. President Xi also said that the outcome of the epidemic prevention and control directly affects people's lives and health, the overall economic and social stability, and the country's opening up. President Xi also said that the party and the government leaders supervising them would also be held accountable in severe cases.
But for more on the story, Anshuman Mishra, our correspondent, joins us on the phone line from Beijing. Good morning, Anshuman. Anshuman, purely looking at it, the question that I asked Nitendra, is there a glimmer of hope that we see at the end of the day? The number of cases clearly rising, but also the number of recoveries.
Good morning, Anil. Yeah, definitely. Number of recoveries are also increasing, and the good part is that recoveries are not only from the young ages, but it's from old ages also. So
Okay.
both the kind of persons they are recovering. So it also it depends on the immune system of the person, as Nitendra rightly said. So we need to take care of that. So it's a little subjective, but yes, it is happening, and we can see that number of recoveries are increasing. Meanwhile, doctors in Beijing government hospital have said that they have not seen any signs of mutation in the virus. Although people are showing symptoms, even if there are no symptoms in the
Okay.
people who can spread the virus, but it appears to be less contagious.
Okay.
So this is a point of relief for all the persons, as told by Beijing government hospital doctors. So this is how they are trying to tackle this, Anil.
Okay. All right, Anshuman, even though this may be a news of some relief coming in as far as the rate of recovery is concerned, but, one of the main concerns also remains the global spread of the coronavirus now that's outside of mainland China. And when we talk about the sweeping steps, the measures being taken by the Chinese authorities, of course, a 1,000-bed hospital, built up in record 9 days, another one coming up in a few days from now, infusing cash into tumbling financial markets, restricting people's movements. There's so many steps still being taken across China to make sure that this does get contained here at this point in time.
Yes, Nancy. China is on war footing to contain this virus, so it has adopted a multi-pronged approach, as you have rightly noticed. All these kind of starting from political will to social awareness to economic support, all kinds of steps they are taking in addition to the global support. So meanwhile, as we know that there is a race against time to develop the vaccine for this virus from the scientific community across the world. Meanwhile, China has accepted the U.S. offer to allow its experts as part of WHO team,
Right.
which will go to Wuhan and see the situation and try to understand how the research could be more focused in this direction. So this is a good news, I would say, and also as G7 countries have also agreed to step up their efforts and coordination in this direction. So it's a good news that international expertise is now flowing in, and they are trying to concentrate on some focal points. Nancy.
Anshuman, purely looking at it from what scientists and disease experts say, do you believe this particular, this particular coronavirus that's the WHO has declared as a public health emergency turning into a pandemic?
Anil, WHO has already declared it
Agreed.
as a global health emergency, and it has somewhat it has acquired a dimension of a pandemic.
Okay.
But WHO has also repeatedly said, including yesterday's statement of WHO Director General, that there is no need for unnecessary travel restrictions or trade restrictions with China, and they have full faith in the efforts taken by China. But at the same time, he also said that WHO Director General said that we need to have a new and better systems to tackle it globally, and that's why WHO is considering team of WHO experts and experts from all other many major countries to be sent to Wuhan. So that's how he sees this situation. But if you are talking about my opinion, I think it will take some time, Anil, because
Okay.
the virus is still spreading, and we are yet to see the peak of this spread.
Okay. And, since you're there in Beijing, Anshuman, just a sense of how really the facilities are being provided to people there already grappling with this severe situation. Of course, their holiday break has been extended. They are being allowed to work from home. Many MNCs are allowing their employees to work from home, and people under self-quarantine really being provided daily supplies. So just give us a sense of the massive measures, massive steps being taken there to ease, sort of ease the lives of the people there across China.
Nancy, if I start with the national capital, Beijing, here I think situation is quite okay. Though the number of infections are around 200 and death is only one, But government is taking all-out efforts. They have again restarted their own SARS hospital. They have also designated around hundreds of hospitals across Beijing city who have specialized fever clinics and specialized team to tackle this kind of issue. They are in constant touch with the citizens through SMS, through television, through all the other mediums. And Chinese Foreign Ministry also is conducting daily regular briefings. Now it's an innovative way. The Chinese Foreign Ministry is conducting briefings through WeChat to take the queries from the international media and local media. So all these efforts have been taken in Beijing. If I talk about other cities, especially the Wuhan, the hotbed, so definitely there is some problem with the supplies of medical equipment, masks, protective suits and all. But government is trying to get all these things. They have ramped up their efforts to increase the production of these medical equipment within China as well, and they are trying to import it largely from other neighboring countries also. And regarding daily supplies, I think as per the reports, it is in stable condition in those affected areas also. But the restrictions, the travel restrictions, which are very stringent, especially in Huanggang and Wenzhou province. Wenzhou province is on the eastern seaboard, Nancy, which is the second highest affected region outside Hubei province.
Right.
So those, government is trying to prevent all those clusters to become a major spread center. So as they have identified, they are taking all the steps, all the stringent steps also to try to stop the spread.
Okay, sure. All right, Anshuman Mishra, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those inputs. We'll, of course, be getting back to you once again for all the regular updates on the measures being taken across China to contain the coronavirus infection. Meanwhile, the health ministries from the group of 7 leading industrial nations agreed to coordinate efforts to the coronavirus outbreak. Germany's health ministry said it has been agreed to coordinate their approach on travel regulations and precautions, as well as research into the virus. Jens Spahn said that the virus knows neither borders nor nationalities. The group will also coordinate with the World Health Organization, the European Union and China. Meanwhile, the German health minister said he is set to meet with his British and French counterpart today.
Well, back home in Delhi, as the voting date for the Delhi Assembly poll is approaching, the election campaign in the national capital gears up, with all political parties promoting their agenda and putting their best efforts in convincing the voters of the national capital. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held an election rally in Kadkaduma. He slammed the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress squarely, blaming them for the anti-CAA protest in Shaheen Bagh, Jamia and Seelampur. The Prime Minister said these protests are no coincidence but an experiment. Prime Minister Modi further said that the 21st century India will be run not on a policy of hate but on a policy of development, taking the country to even great heights. The Prime Minister will hold an election rally in Dwarka today.
Meanwhile, yesterday, Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a BJP public meeting in Mundka, Sadar Bazar, Paharganj and Greater Kailash. BJP President JP Nadda was at Shakur Basti, Model Town and Chandni Chowk, and the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also held election rally in Vikaspuri in the national capital. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar on Monday added another barb in the BJP's arsenal against Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, and many leaders of the ruling Aam Aadmi Party joined the BJP in Delhi as well. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal held an election rally on Monday in Vishwas Nagar. The BSP Supremo Mayawati addressed her first election meeting at packed Talkatore Stadium in Delhi, also descended on Delhi's election riot. And the Union Home Minister Amit Shah will address public rallies in Delhi Cantonment, Patel Nagar and Timarpur today. BJP President JP Nadda and Union Minister Prakash Javadekar will hold an exclusive interaction on the BJP's vision plan for Delhi. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and party leader Rahul Gandhi will be addressing public rallies in Jangpura and Sangam Vihar today. Former Prime Minister and senior Congress leader Dr. Manmohan Singh is to address a public rally in Rajouri Garden area in the national capital today. The Aam Aadmi Party will also be releasing their manifesto for the elections today.
A two-judge bench of the Delhi High Court has asked the Election Commission and the Centre to reply to on their petition filed against the rejection of nomination of 11 independents in the upcoming Delhi Assembly elections. Since the implementation of the Code of Conduct in the capital, liquor, narcotics and precious metals worth more than 50 crore rupees have been seized, including over 9 crores in cash. BJP MP Bhupender Yadav will move the motion of thanks on the President's address in Rajya Sabha today. The President delivered the address to both Houses of Parliament on January 31st. BJP MP Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi will second the motion in the upper house. While in the Lok Sabha, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri will introduce a bill further to amend the Aircraft Act 1934.
And BJP parliamentary meeting will take place today at the Library Building of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, besides other party MPs from both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha will be present at the meeting. And let's now go across to our correspondent Rajesh Raj with more inputs on that. So the BJP parliamentary meeting, Rajesh, that will take place today, and also the agenda of Parliament. Of course, the BJP MP Bhupender Yadav will be moving the motion of thanks on the President's address in the upper house of Parliament.
देखिए नैन्सी, कल राज्यसभा की कार्रवाई जो है वो चल नहीं पाई, जिसकी वजह से राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा की शुरुआत ही नहीं हो पाई। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सांसद भूपेंद्र यादव को राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव पर चर्चा को शुरू करना था। लगातार वो मनोहार करते रहे। तमाम जो विपक्षी सांसद हैं उनसे ये कहते हुए सुने गए सदन के भीतर कि राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा की जो शुरुआत होती है उसमें अवरोध नहीं पैदा किए जाने की परंपरा रही है, उसे रोका नहीं जाता है। लेकिन उनकी बात को भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से लगातार जो बातें उठाई गई उसे कांग्रेस समेत अन्य विपक्षी पार्टी के जो सांसद हैं उन्होंने उनकी बात नहीं मानी और लगातार नागरिकता संशोधन कानून और एनआरसी के मसले पर वो सदन के भीतर शोर शराबा करते रहे, आसन के बीचों बीच आकर हंगामा करते रहे। लिहाजा कई स्थगनों के बाद राज्यसभा की कार्रवाई जो है उपसभापति हरिवंश ने दिन भर के लिए स्थगित कर दी। आज 11 बजे राज्यसभा की कार्रवाई जो है वो दोबारा शुरू होगी। शून्यकाल और प्रश्नकाल के बाद ये उम्मीद की जा रही है कि 2 बजे राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा जो है वो शुरू हो पाएगी। ऐसा माना जा रहा है कि विपक्षी सांसदों को समझाने की लगातार कोशिश की गई है कि राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण को रोके जाने की परंपरा नहीं रही है, लिहाजा राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा कराई जाए। लोकसभा में भारी हंगामे के बीच राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा जो है वो सोमवार को शुरू करा ली गई। प्रवेश वर्मा जो बीजेपी के सांसद हैं उन्होंने धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव पर चर्चा की शुरुआत की और पाटलिपुत्रा के सांसद राम कृपाल यादव ने भी अपनी बातें रखी और अन्य विपक्षी पार्टियों ने भी देर शाम तक उस पर चर्चा की। आज उम्मीद है कि लोकसभा में राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा जो है आज दिन भर चलेगी और राज्यसभा में चर्चा जो है उसको भी शुरू कराया जाएगा। और बीजेपी पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी का आपने जिक्र किया, 9:30 बजे बीजेपी पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी की बैठक भी यहाँ पर संसद भवन परिसर में होनी है, जिसमें पीएम मोदी, बीजेपी अध्यक्ष जेपी नड्डा और गृह मंत्री अमित शाह समेत दोनों सदनों के तमाम भाजपा के सांसद मौजूद रहेंगे। और उसमें कहीं ना कहीं बजट सत्र जो है उसको लेकर एक स्ट्रेटजी तैयार की जानी है। हालांकि लोकसभा सत्र के दौरान ऐसा देखा जाता है कि मंगलवार को सुबह 9:30 बजे बीजेपी संसदीय दल की बैठक जो है हमेशा से होती रही है। बैठक आयोजित करने की परंपरा रही है, उस परंपरा का निर्वहन भी और सत्ता पक्ष के द्वारा फ्लोर मैनेजमेंट की स्ट्रेटजी भी इसमें तय होगी। देखना होगा कि विपक्षी सदस्य लगातार एनआरसी और नागरिकता संशोधन कानून के मसले पर जिस तरीके से हंगामा करते रहे हैं उसको लेकर कैसे सत्ता पक्ष उसे मैनेज करते हैं, कैसे उसे रोकने की कोशिश करते हैं। इस पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की आज बैठक जो है अहम बैठक आज होनी है।
You know, also considering Rajesh, other than the motion of thanks, is there any important bill that's going to be presented in either of the houses today, or an amended bill that's going to be presented?
देखिए, लोकसभा की जो कार्यसूची है अनिल, उसमें एयरक्राफ्ट अमेंडमेंट विधेयक जो है वो भी लिस्टेड है, लेकिन राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चूंकि लोकसभा के भीतर जो सांसदों की संख्या है वो ज्यादा है, लिहाजा तमाम विपक्षी सांसदों को और सत्ता पक्ष के सांसदों को मौका देना है बोलने के लिए। लिहाजा ये उम्मीद की जा सकती है कि आज राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर ही देर शाम तक चर्चा हो सकती है, लेकिन एयरक्राफ्ट अमेंडमेंट विधेयक जो है वो लिस्टेड जरूर है, चूंकि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को भी रिप्लाई करना होगा, नेता सदन जो है वो रिप्लाई करेंगे। आज देखना होगा कि सदन की कार्रवाई किस तरीके से चलती है, और शाम तक अगर राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर चर्चा पूरी करा ली जाती है तो फिर नेता सदन जो है उनको रिप्लाई भी करना होगा। हालांकि अब तक कोई अधिकृत जानकारी नहीं मिल पाई है कि पीएम मोदी कब रिप्लाई करेंगे, लेकिन यह उम्मीद की जा रही है कि जब राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव पर चर्चा जो है वो पूरी कर ली जाएगी तो फिर पीएम मोदी जो है वो चर्चा का जवाब देंगे, जिसको लेकर कहीं ना कहीं विपक्षी सांसदों को इंतजार रहेगा कि पीएम मोदी क्या कुछ लेकर आते हैं। बहरहाल आज दिन भर राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर ही दोनों सदनों में चर्चा कराए जाने की संभावना ज्यादा दिखाई पड़ती है।
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate your joining us with those inputs there. You've got a busy day ahead, BJP parliamentary meeting followed by parliament coverage. Well, thank you for joining us. Well, moving ahead, in Jammu and Kashmir, one civilian killed and several others injured in unprovoked ceasefire violation from Pakistan along the LOC in the Tangdhar sector of Kupwara. Indian troops gave a befitting reply to Pakistani soldiers, and officials said that the Pakistani army had targeted the forward post of 2 Jat and 17 Bihar regiments.
The 11th edition of Defence Expo 2020 will be held from the 5th of February to the 9th in Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the biennial mega defence exhibition on the 5th. Defence ministers and service chiefs of 18 countries will participate in this Defence Expo. The aim is to bring the leading technologies in the defence sector under one roof and provide opportunities for the government, private manufacturers and startups. Let's listen into this special report from our correspondent Nandita Dagar.
In this 4-day extravaganza, which has been extended to 5 days due to high public demand, everything would be on demonstration and on display for viewers and enthusiasts of high defense technology, high technology, state-of-the-art weapons. There will also be simulators for people to sit to obtain a feel of what it is like to sit in the cockpit of a Rafale or a Tejas. Also, you can see that this is going to be a huge defense expo with more than 30 delegations of more than 35 countries taking part. Just like this anti-satellite weapon Shakti, which was test fired in March 2019, this was a very successful launch. These kind of things are on display for people. There will be live demonstrations of artillery guns, helicopters and other aerial assets at the Gomti River front. Also, more than 1,000 defense manufacturing companies are here to display their wares. The theme of this defense expo is Make in India in Defense, and therefore they will be tying up with Indian defense manufacturing companies. Apart from DRDO, HAL, Ordnance Factory Boards, there are display pavilions for all defense companies. With Sudhir Yadav and camera person Sushil Sharma in Lucknow, this is Nandita Dagar for DD News.
Taranjit Singh Sandhu took charge as the Indian ambassador of the United States. Sandhu has replaced Harshvardhan Shringla. He is the newly appointed foreign secretary. Sandhu has served in the Indian mission in Washington twice earlier. He was deputy chief of mission at the embassy of Washington, D.C.
Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is working towards providing industry relevant skill training to the youth. The scheme is thus catering to the employment demand of the youth. How the youth of Ujjain district of Madhya Pradesh are reaping the benefits from this scheme, let's get to know from this ground report.
Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is a flagship scheme of Government of India with an objective to provide skill certification. The scheme enables a large number of youth in the country to take up industry-relevant skill training that will help them secure a better livelihood. Youth of Ujjain district of Madhya Pradesh calls the scheme a lifesaver as it is providing them with the skill training in their relevant fields.
यहाँ पर हम पार्लर का कोर्स कर रहे हैं। इसमें हमें 1-1.5 महीना हो गया है सीखते सीखते। हमें थ्रेडिंग, उसमें 5 प्रकार की आईब्रो है और अभी हम पेडिक्योर मैनिक्योर चल रहा है हमारा और बहुत अच्छा सिखा रहे हैं मैम। प्रैक्टिकल भी अच्छा है और थ्योरी भी अच्छी चल रही है और आगे जाकर हम अपना खुद का पार्लर खोलना चाहते हैं। सरकार की योजना से बहुत खुश हैं, हमें बहुत फ़ायदा मिला है। हम कंप्यूटर भी सीख रहे हैं इसी योजना के अंतर्गत, पार्लर सीख रहे हैं, सिलाई, हमारे मतलब 3 योजना का लाभ ले रहे हैं हम यहाँ पर आके।
बीपीओ नॉन वाइज का कोर्स किया है जिसकी वजह से आज मेरी जॉब लगी है जो मनापुरम फाइनेंस में लगी हुई है। मासिक आय है 8,000 रुपये, जिससे मुझे कि बहुत सहयोग मिलता है। मुझसे मैं मेरी फैमिली का भी बहुत सपोर्ट कर पाती हूँ। इसके लिए मैं सरकार का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ और मैं आगे भी उनसे यही कहूँगी कि आगे भी सभी के लिए और क्लासेस चलाए ताकि और शहर तरक्की पर जाता जाए।
Youth of Ujjain are getting trained as beautician, hairdresser, computer operators, and now they have become independent. Ground Report Desk, DD News.
Well, moving to international stories, the U.S. Senate began the final phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's impeachment trial that will almost certainly conclude today with his acquittal. House impeachment manager Jason Crow, a representative from Colorado, kicked off the closing remarks for the Democrats, calling impeachment a tool only to be used in rare instances of grave misconduct. The 100 senators will hear 4 hours of closing arguments split equally between Trump's legal team and prosecutors from the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives, which charged him with abusing power by pressurizing Ukraine to probe political rival Joe Biden and then obstructing their inquiry. The Senate is almost certain to acquit the president as a 2/3 majority is required to remove Trump, and none of its 53 Republicans have indicated they will vote to convict.
Meanwhile, Americans kicked off the first vote of the 2020 presidential race as the state of Iowa opened its caucuses, the first step in determining which Democrat faces incumbent Donald Trump in November this year. Just 41 Iowa delegates are up for grabs, a fraction of the 1,991 needed to secure the Democratic nomination. But the vote is a critical early look at the viability of the 11 candidates still in the race and who will carry the momentum forward. Far-left Senator Bernie Sanders and moderate former Vice President Joe Biden are the front-runners. But polling has fluctuated, and Iowa's quirky caucus system, where voting is by public declaration for a candidate and not by the secret ballot, can make it hard to predict.
Well, 2 people were shot dead and another was wounded as an unidentified person opened fire on a Texas A&M University Commerce campus on Monday. The shooter has not been identified yet and police are actively investigating. As of August 2016, those who hold a current and valid concealed handgun license in Texas are allowed to carry a concealed handgun on certain parts of the campus. Handgun license holders are also allowed to store a weapon in a safe in their campus housing.
And in more news from around the world, Turkey's military hit 54 targets in Idlib and neutralized 76 Syrian government soldiers in retaliation for shelling in Idlib. The Russian Defense Ministry said that the Turkish units came under fire from Syrian government forces after moving without notifying Russia. On the other hand, Turkey said it had coordinated its military movements with Moscow. Turkish President Erdogan said Ankara will make Syrian government pay the necessary price for shelling in Idlib. The Turkish president warned Russia to stay out of Ankara's dealings with Damascus over the shelling. On Sunday, 16 civilians, including 5 children and 4 women, were killed in the Syrian government and Russian attacks.
Well, moving to stories from the world of finance, interacting with the industry captains in New Delhi, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured full support to help resolving pending issues of the industry. On a question about MSP for farmers, she said that the government is fully committed to protect the interest of the farmers. Sitharaman said the government has proposed a 16-point action plan to boost agriculture and farmers' welfare.
What we've given us 16-point agenda for focused activities based on the budgetary allocations are spread across the spectrum. We are looking at creating silos and warehouses of different nature as is required in different agroclimatic zones at the block and the taluk level. We are linking the local SHG groups also to maintain them, get facility through private participation to build them. We are looking at marine resources so that we'll have youth participate in it as Sagar Mitras and be the aggregators for many of the marine products. We are looking at farmers being able to produce power through solar power in their barren lands. Like I can
comprehensive list.
16. So, and all of them are, even as the MSP is active.
And the Reserve Bank of India will begin its Monetary Policy Committee, the MPC meeting from today. The central bank will also unveil its last monetary policy for the current financial year on the 6th of February, that's the coming Thursday. The 6th bi-monthly monetary policy statement for 2019-20 would be the last one for the current financial year. The RBI had unanimously chosen to keep the repo rate unchanged at 5.15% in the December 2019 policy review. Now, repo rate is the rate at which the RBI lends to the banks, and the decision on the repo rate is based on the condition of the economy.
Well, moving to sports stories, and it's a edge of the seat thriller. Four-time champions India will back themselves to reach the third successive final at the Under-19 World Cup when they face arch rivals Pakistan in a last four clash today. Both teams go into the semi-final unbeaten. While India beat Australia in the quarterfinals, Pakistan outplayed Afghanistan. India, who are the defending champions of the Under-19 World Cup, has inflicted on Pakistan a 203-run hammering in the last edition in 2018. India is the most successful team in the tournament's history, having won it on 4 previous occasions, whereas Pakistan lifted the trophy twice in 2004 and 2006.
And Rohit Sharma has been ruled out of the ODI and the Test series against New Zealand because of a calf injury. Rohit had suffered the injury during the 5th and the final T20 international against New Zealand on Sunday. He was retired hurt after scoring 60 before KL Rahul took charge on the field during New Zealand's chase. Mayank Agrawal, who made his ODI debut against the West Indies in December last year, has been named as Rohit Sharma's replacement in the ODI squad.
I know it's an unfortunate situation that Rohit can't be a part of this series. Obviously, he's you know, when you talk of one-day cricket, T20 cricket, or even Test cricket now, he's you know, one guy who's always on the list first. So the impact he's had is there for everyone to see. But the thing is that we don't have any one-day tournaments to look forward to. So it's actually an ideal time for him to go away and you know, rectify this as soon as he can and come back. And he played the T20 series. So from the team's balance point of view, heading into the World Cup year, it doesn't really hamper the combination as far as the T20s are concerned. And in one-day cricket, whoever steps in for him, you know, Prithvi is in the team as well, so he's definitely going to start. And whoever the replacement is will obviously ask for an opener, and KL will play in the middle order.
So let's now move on to our next segment, and that is the morning print. To get you a glimpse of what the national dailies are carrying this morning, we are beginning first with the news from the Indian Express, where Prime Minister Modi has sharpened attack in Delhi in the last lap, and he said that behind Shaheen Bagh Jamia protest design is to divide India. In fact, the Prime Minister sharpened the attack, saying there was a design to destroy the amity and unity in the country. He went on to say, and I'm quoting him here, be it Silampur, Jamia or Shaheen Bagh, the past few days have seen protests against CAA. And are these protests merely a coincidence? No, this is an experiment, he said. Behind this is a political design which intends to destroy the amity of the country.
Well, looking at the next newspaper, it's from the Times of India. On the front pages, the novel coronavirus once again taking its toll. Kerala now in India having its third casualty, the third case being detected. Meanwhile, the centre setting up a Coronavirus Task Force and the Kerala state saying clearly that it's a state calamity. The coronavirus death, if you purely look at the numbers now crossing 425, exceeds the death toll of 2002-2003 due to the SARS outbreak in mainland China. 20,471 is the confirmed cases infected, but the mortality rate pretty low at 2.1% as compared to 9.6% when it was with the case of the SARS disease.
All right, let's move on now to Hindustan Times. And virus fears wipe $393 billion of China's stock markets. Of course, investors have erased $393 billion from China's benchmark stock index on Monday, sold the yuan and dumped commodities as fears about the spreading coronavirus and its economic impact drove selling on the first day of trade in China since the Lunar New Year. A nearly 8% plunge on the Shanghai Composite Index was its first biggest daily fall in more than 4 years. In fact, the Chinese yuan blew past the $7 per dollar mark, and the Shanghai traded commodities from palm oil to copper hit their maximum down limits. All right. In fact, we are getting news right now that Hong Kong has reported its first casualty, the first death from coronavirus, and that's according to the local news broadcaster TVB. And in fact, that's the second fatality outside mainland China. Of course, the first one happened in the Philippines. So this is the breaking news, and this is the concern right now, the global epidemic that's spreading outside of mainland China. First casualty that was reported from the Philippines yesterday, and now another one being reported from the Hong Kong. And this is even as global travel restrictions have been put in place across the world to contain the virus as best as possible.
Well, coming back to the national dailies, our fourth look is at the Hindu newspaper, where Niman Hans is going to help the ITBP staff beat stress. After helping Tamil Nadu police, it's now the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, that's NIMHANS, is now training the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, that's the ITBP staff, in combating stress and other psychological issues. According to this proposal, close to 450 staff have been trained, and they have completed training batches of 60 ITBP staff members there, and they have gone back to various tasks after this particular camp has been held to beat stress by the ITBP, being helped by the NIMHANS officials.
And before we wrap up the morning print, we are leaving you with this image, and that is talking about the melange of colors, where artists from Nagaland are posing with the snake charmers at the 34th Suranjkund International Crafts Mela 2020 in Faridabad. Himachal Pradesh, remember, is the theme for this year's Mela, which is on till the 16th of February.
And it's a great, the 34th edition of the festival, a great time to go out, enjoy some summer, also to catch Uzbekistan. That's the international partner to this festival. So it's time for people to take their cars out and go out and enjoy.
Plan your day out is what we can say.
Well,
yes, with that, it's a wrap on the morning print, and let's now move on, take a look at the significance of this day in history.
On February 4, 1789, in USA, electors unanimously chose George Washington to be the first president and John Adams as vice president. On this day in 1916, the foundation of the Banaras Hindu University was laid by Lord Hardinge, the then Viceroy of India. On the same day in 1922, classical singer Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi was born in Dharwad, Karnataka. He is known for the Khayal form of singing as well as for his popular renditions of devotional music. On this day in 1974, Padma Vibhushan Satyendra Nath Bose, best known for his work on quantum mechanics, died in Kolkata. On this very day in 2010, amidst a splendid fireworks display, the Burj Dubai, the tallest building in the world, was officially opened by Dubai's ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. The Burj Dubai was later renamed Burj Khalifa.
Well, coronavirus is a major health threat. Our correspondent Kiran Bharadwaj spoke to Dr. Randeep Guleria, the director of AIIMS, about the prevention from the coronavirus infection.
World Health Organization has declared novel coronavirus outbreak as the public health emergency of international concern. What measures should be taken to prevent the transmission of coronavirus? To talk about this, we have with us Dr. Randeep Guleria, Director, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Many people who are suffering from flu-like symptoms are quite worried. whether they have infection of coronavirus?
The symptoms of coronavirus infection are non-specific. They are like common viral infection symptoms in terms of fever, sore throat, cough, running nose, and sometimes breathing difficulty. Therefore, all people who have this type of symptoms don't have coronavirus infection. What is important is to link these with the epidemiological link. And that link is that you have traveled to China, especially the Wuhan district of China, or you have come in close contact with a person who has traveled to China and has had flu-like symptoms. Or you are in a healthcare facility as a doctor or a patient or as a health worker where patients of coronavirus are being treated and you have come in close contact with such a person. Anyone who has that history of exposure with the symptoms that we have just discussed, he should get himself tested.
If a person is infected from coronavirus, what precautions should be taken?
If a person is suspected to have this novel coronavirus, we don't want it to spread in the community and create an outbreak. So he should isolate himself, preferably for 2 weeks. He should stay at home, avoid close contact with people, should not go to crowded places, and regularly wash his hands. Be careful about the utensils that he uses. Hand washing is important because we keep touching our hand while we have cold and cough, and the virus also then comes to our hands. And if we touch something like a doorknob or some other place, the virus gets transmitted to that area. And if someone else touches that doorknob, the virus comes to his hand, and then he touches his nose or mouth, the virus then goes into his upper respiratory tract.
Dr. Guleria, what are the general preventive measures people should follow to reduce the risk of transmission of coronavirus?
Regular hand hygiene. One must wash his hands regularly, either with soap and water or by using the hand sanitizers which are available. Secondly, one must cover his cough. When you're coughing, cough into a tissue and dispose of the tissue. If you're coughing into a hanky, keep it properly isolated and make sure it's washed properly. If you have cough, cough onto your elbow so that you don't spread the infection.
Thank you, Dr. Guleria, for this information. Know about the symptoms of coronavirus, be aware, be conscious and be alert to reduce the risk of coronavirus infection. Kiran Bharadwaj, DD News.
World Cancer Day is being observed today to raise awareness internationally to encourage its prevention, detection and treatment. The primary goal of the day is to prominently reduce illness and death caused by cancer. This year's theme for World Cancer Day is I Am and I Will, which means it acknowledges everyone's capacity to act in the face of cancer. This year marks the 20th year from the commencement of the initiative, and thus the discussion surrounding the disease has become even more important.
Well, time now to take a look at the weather in your city. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Breakfast Show. But before we leave you with a positive thought. Let your courage inspire the world around you.
Absolutely, and in fact also some images to make your day, and these are the glimpses of Light Festival that kicked off this weekend in Copenhagen, Denmark. Take a look at those visuals and we wish you a great day ahead. Thanks for being with us.
Keep smiling.